Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's assembly. It's Friday, the 26th of February. A big welcome back to all of our nursery to primary 3 pupils who have returned into the school building, and a big hello to all the primary 4 to 7s who are still at home working hard. This week's assembly is going to look at Fairtrade Fortnight, because at the moment we're in the middle of Fairtrade Fortnight. It runs from the 22nd of February to the 8th of March. So we're going to have a little look at what Fairtrade Fortnight means and what this year's campaign is about. I know some of the primary sixes have been working really hard on this week, so you might recognise some of the pictures and some of the things we've been talking about already in your class. It's always good to link what we're doing in assembly back to our values. And this week, our value that we're going to link assembly to is to connection, because we're trying to connect around the world. So we have link here and we have our badge for connection. So we're going to look around the world to see how we can help other people. So suppose we need to start with what is Fairtrade. And I went to their website to get some information about the organisation. They want to create a world where all producers can enjoy secure and sustainable livelihoods. That basically means that they just want to make sure that the farmers and the people that are growing the crops and producing the things get paid enough so they can survive and they don't have to do other jobs or that they can't afford to buy food. They set standards, so that means that a certain price is paid for products, that a certain way that people are treated, employees are treated, is set. They also create things that they have their brand on, which you can see to the left of the screen made up of people and also at the top of the screen. And products get to use this Fairtrade logo to show that they are meet the standards and they are working towards the Fairtrade vision. So I went to the website, the Fairtrade website, to have a look for some facts. I quite like a good fact. And here's some of the ones that I found. So there's 1.7 million farmers and workers in Fairtrade certified producer organisations. And that means that companies that are said to be Fairtrade, there are 1.7 million people. Beside that, you can see the breakdown, so some of the breakdown of the people that work in those organisations. So out of those 1.7 million people, 19% are farmers and 40% are women. And something that Fairtrade does is try to empower women to create their own businesses in countries that maybe it's not as easy to do. Throughout the whole world, there are 73 countries that have Fairtrade certified producer organisations, and there are 1,707 of these. So that's quite a lot, but maybe not as many as I would have thought. So here's some more facts. 50% of all the Fairtrade farmers produce coffee. So that shows you that a lot of the Fairtrade products must be kind of coffee based. 40% of the Fairtrade workers produce tea. Again, another product that must be quite highly available with a Fairtrade logo. The other two facts are about investment. Now, some of the money that comes from Fairtrade is called a Fairtrade premium, and that means that some of the producers get an extra bit of money above what they earn, and they use that to reinvest in their own organisations, but also other organisations to try to empower people to create their own businesses. You can see there as well that a lot of the things they buy are agricultural tools, which is farming tools, which will make their life easier, which will mean that they will be able to produce more, which means that they'll be able to earn more money and help more people. And I thought we'd have a little look about the history of fair trade. I'm not going to go through everything that they've achieved because they've achieved so much, but I thought I'd highlight some of the most important things. So the Fairtrade Foundation was established in 1992, and it was there to help the Mexican small-scale coffee farmers. So that's maybe where we get our largest percentage of farmers. It's because coffee has been one of the things that's been produced fair trade for so long. The first Fairtrade certified product, so that was the first one that actually had a logo on it that said it was fair trade, was a chocolate bar that was launched from using cacao from Belize. Also in that year, Cafe Direct and a couple of other coffee and tea companies also produced their own products. So that's dating back way back to 1994, and some of these brands are still available today. 1995 was the first Fairtrade Fortnight, so we have been doing the Fairtrade Fortnights in schools and throughout the world for almost 30 years. Throughout the time that the Fairtrade have been running, they've achieved lots of things, and one of the first things, quite early on, so only 3 years after they started, was in Westminster in Parliament. The three MPs raised a motion that they were looking to have fair trade refreshments sold within the Parliament, and that was achieved in the November of 1995. So also for the last almost 30 years, fair trade teas and coffees and lots of other products now have been available within Westminster. So they were trying to promote it quite early on as well. Throughout the next 6 years, lots of other products launched and Fairtrade managed to achieve a lot more. The first Fairtrade honey was launched in 1998 and the first farmer-owned chocolate company was established, and that's still available today. And that's called Divine Chocolates. In 2000, first Fairtrade bananas were launched in the UK, and there's lots of other things as well. And we start to see some supermarkets trying to convert their brands to be fair trade. You can see that in 2002, the Co-op converts all its own brand block chocolates to fair trade. That means that if you bought a bar of chocolate that was just chocolate, it would have been fair trade. From 2005 right the way through to 2017, lots of other achievements were made by Fairtrade, and we start to see a lot more supermarkets and companies selling a lot more Fairtrade products. You can see Marks and Spencer's commit to Fairtrade tea and coffee, Greggs commit to Fairtrade coffee as well. We've got our first Fairtrade ice cream, Waitrose and Sainsbury's launch 100% Fairtrade bananas. So there's lots of other things there, and you start to realise that companies are responding to what people want. So because this campaign, because people were so behind it, because they really, really wanted to make sure that people were getting a fair price and were able to have a good existence, the companies started to respond, and we can see there that in 2012 Maltesers go fair trade in the UK, and also in 2010 UK retail sales of fair trade reached £1 billion. So that's quite a lot of money for products that carried the fair trade brand. Since the Fair Trade Foundation started almost 30 years ago, and since the introduction of the Fair Trade Certificate, there's been lots and lots of products added. Currently, there are over 4,500 products that are available to buy in the UK that carry the Fair Trade Certificate. So next time you're at a supermarket, or next time you're walking past a shop, or if adults in your house are ordering products offline, have a look to see if they carry the Fair Trade logo. You could also have a look through your cupboards and see how many of your products are fair trade. See if you've got any of the ones that are in this basket, or see if you've got any of the ones that we've also looked at before. So as we think about all the different products that have the fair trade symbol and that are produced using the fair trade standards, we kind of start to think about where our food comes from. And if you look at lots of your food, it tells you a location, particularly fruits and vegetables. It'll tell you exactly where they are grown. So next time you're in your kitchen, have a look to see where some of your fruits and vegetables are growing from. But we're going to have a little look at one or two products and see the people that created them and their stories and what journey our food has made. The first product we're going to look at are bananas. Bananas are grown in tropical countries, so usually between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Majority of our bananas in the UK come from Central America and the Caribbean. And we're going to look at one family who we can see here, and they live in Panama. And the dad of the family is called Marcilla, and he is a banana farmer. He grows his bananas with the help of his family on a small plot of land, and relies on the money he makes selling his bananas to support his family. Sometimes this is very difficult. But with the money that Fair Trade guarantee, he knows that he is getting a set income. The next product we're going to look at is coffee. Coffee needs good warm temperatures to grow and good rainfall to flower and grow the coffee cherries. If the rain comes at the wrong time, the coffee plants can become too dry and die. Farmers depend on making a good income from their coffee and rely on the weather being right. In Kenya, Bernard is a coffee farmer. He also helps train other farmers to find ways to protect their crops. If you find different ways to protect your crops, that means you're going to be guaranteed having good crops each year. Cacao only grows in tropical forests, where it is very warm and humid, and there is some protection from other types of trees. These cacao farms are often remote, a long way from towns and cities, and farmers struggle to earn enough money to meet their needs. Farmers like Therese, her village does not even have a road. You can only get to it by foot, motorbike, or four-wheel drive vehicle through the fields. We buy products grown from farmers like the ones we've just heard about every day. What we choose to buy can make a big difference. These three farmers are all Fairtrade farmers. This means that if we choose their products with the Fairtrade mark, they receive a better deal for their product. So the choices we make have an effect on other people. Now in this instance, it's the choices of what we buy. And Fairtrade's slogan this year is "Choose the world you want." But that can also be applied to other parts of our life. The choices you make, whether with family or friends, will have an effect on everybody's life. If you choose to do something positive for someone, it may have a great effect on them. It might make them smile. But sometimes the other things we choose might not have the same effect. So remember, the choices we make will have a big effect on people around us. So if we choose fair trade, we're choosing farming with care, we're choosing fairer pay for all, we're choosing high standards, we're choosing respect, and ultimately we're choosing a fairer world and making sure that people are paid a good wage that lets them live. With fair trade, you have the power to change the world every single day. And that's what Fairtrade started out to do. It started out to give people an option to change somebody else's life. And that's what we do every time that we buy a Fairtrade product. Now, in the Learning Journals post, I have included a link to this video. And Claire, who works for Fairtrade, talks about change the world through your choices. And it has a look at some other children. So once this assembly is finished, you can go back, click on the link, and you can watch the video. But before we finish, a big happy birthday to anybody who has had a birthday this week or any time in the next couple of days. We hope that everybody is staying safe and that they're all really looking forward to getting back to school on Monday for nursery to primary 3, and for 4s to 7s, you will be back with us in a couple of weeks' time. Hope you have a great weekend. Bye.